Well, let's get in Deven Choksey, MD at DRChoksey Finserv, who joins us on the show. Hi, Deven. Good morning and happy festivities. Wishing you and your family the best. Well, what about Maruti? You heard what the management had to say. Yesterday, first look at it, it appeared the profit number was a big miss. But the street has factored in, a couple of one-offs in those numbers as well. And ultimately, the operational performance, they believe, wasn't that bad. How do you approach the stock? It was down 6.5% yesterday and ended down close to around 3%.
Yeah. Good morning, Nigel, and wish you happy Diwali and all festivities as well. Well, I believe that I think the Maruti is prudent in putting across the commentary. They are very categorically putting across that below 10 lakhs vehicles is not something which is going to give the volume anymore now. So it would be futile to compare the volume numbers of the portfolio that they are holding. Rather, I think the company has moved significantly into the premiumization. And that's where the bigger cars, the higher value cars, would constitute larger amount of revenue pie as we see it going forward as well. And that numbers are not going to be as many as I think one would have seen, I think, in the below 10 lakh kind of vehicles. So that part of the clarity is very well getting established. Now, having said that, I think the near-term problem is not going away. The industry is saddled with a significantly large amount of inventory at this point of time. And each and every OEM will be undergoing the process of rationalizing or cutting down the production at this point of time, till the time the industry clears the entire inventory, which is there in the overall yards of various companies. So from that perspective, I think we don't see very exciting numbers coming out in the third and the fourth quarter. Maybe the companies will be in a position to manage, I think, the numbers with a higher amount of cost pressure getting seen into the numbers. So as far as I think the auto play is concerned, in these 2 quarters, quite possible that investors would get some of these companies at a lower valuation, lower price. And that would be the time to buy from the long-term perspective.
Right, that's the concern on Maruti playing out. Deven, hi, good morning, and wish you a very, very happy Diwali to you, your teams, and of course, all at home. So that's Maruti. Let's talk about the other sort of concern that's come out this season, which is this whole asset quality issue. And it's showing up obviously in stocks like SBI Card for a while. It's not new, right? There's a reason why the stock price has moved down as it has. But what would you sort of be looking at? Would you continue to stay away from some of these unsecured lending plays, or would you want to bottom fish?
Hi, Surbi. Good morning and happy Diwali to you all as well. Well, I believe that I think the verdict is very clear. The unsecured loan portfolio of the NBFCs as well as the banks, including the credit card companies, is going to have the pain of its sort in this coming period. Largely because of the fact that I think the urban consumer is spending more and I think probably having the challenge in order to have the surplus in the wallet hereafter. And that's where probably I think the regular provisioning for the unsecured loan, the default is also there in the system. Slightly remaining cautious at this point of time. Our focus is largely on the quality franchises, the companies where probably the vertical wise they are lending in a systematic manner. Likes of Bajaj Finance, I think we find them really more prudent in lending their book to the retail customers. Most of the other companies, particularly, I think, are trying to get the market share in terms of compromises, I think, on the risk factors. And that is where I think one requires to be a little bit watchful about. At this point of time, our approach would be to stay with the larger companies where they have better ability to manage the risk, and also to stay with companies where probably the benefit of the financialization of assets, I think, is happening. Intermediaries like stock exchanges, depositories, and even to a certain extent, the AMC companies would be the right choice to keep your money in at this point of time.
Okay, got that. No, by the way, I just want to highlight that insurance companies were big movers yesterday. I mean, quiet movers, but look at names like SBI Life, and the stocks will come up on your screen. Look at something like an HDFC Life. So after ICICI and SBI, the banks, it was insurance, life insurers, which were 3.5% movers each, both of them. So that is something else to kind of look at as well. you know, the other thing, of course, is as I think we were discussing autos, right? And Maruti was the case in point. In 2 days, we'll get the auto sales numbers, the monthly auto sales numbers. And I think, you know, that'll be, in a way, kind of the first look that we will get about how the festive season, at least part of the festive season, has really panned out. And that could be market moving, more market moving than usual for some of these individual stocks. Take a look at names like Hero, etc., and how much they've sold off recently. Deven, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Just a word on a few other names that we saw moves on. JSW Infra, since the IPO, has not really done very much. Yesterday was a 10% mover. The other is JSW Energy. You know, so it was a good day for JSW, the group. 2 stocks, both 9-10% higher. Any thoughts?
Yeah, Prashant, good morning. Well, I think in general, we probably find the companies with the infra focus are relatively better, be it in the power distribution segment, or be it in the port-related activities. I believe that I think even including companies like Adani Port, which came up with the result, we believe that I think the larger number of volume is something which they are basically experiencing on their ports. And that's where probably I think we like some of these companies from investment perspective. The power and the power distribution companies, obviously, I think remain steady performer at this point of time. But I think everything is priced in. That is what my concern is. That today, if as an investor you want to buy something afresh, probably you have to wait for a time till the time the time correction or the price correction takes place in some of these counters. Otherwise, I think everything seems to be pricing as far as this story is concerned. We like this story from investment perspective, but would like to have the margin of safety at a lower level. One would probably add into the portfolio.
Oh, okay, all right, Deven, thanks a lot for giving us that input on all those stocks. Wishing you a good day ahead, looking cracking as always, and we'll catch up with you soon, Deven.